Hey guys, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm creating a video every day for a year. This is video 261. Thank you so much for being here with me. I thought today we would bring up something old that I talked about months and months ago, and it was the universe is your butler. And I think I talked about that in a couple of videos, like probably right when I started. My first day was Memorial Day of last year. I think it was May 26th, and it was somewhere probably in June when I started talking about this. And so the universe is your butler is kind of like, expect that your packages are coming. So like you ordered some packages from Amazon and you know they're coming. Most of the time, if you have Prime, they're going to get to you either same day within a few hours to maybe a couple of days. If they're running behind, sometimes you know you're just going to get them 3-4 days down the line if it's holiday time. Sometimes they run late. If there's storms, like we just had the snowstorm, sometimes they might run a little late, but you're always going to get them. So always look at everything in your life as, I'm going to expect this is on its way, or this is already here now, that type of thinking. So I was talking to someone today about a possible diagnosis that her friend is possibly going to be given by a doctor. We were just talking about this. And first of all, when you have something that comes up and you're worried about your friend, you're worried about yourself, you're worried about a diagnosis or something that you get, the first thing that I go to is I say, I don't care what anybody outside of me says. I trust myself and I know that I can heal anything. I know that I can create anything I want. I've kind of always been that way, but I never fully believed that that was actually who I was. But as I got older and I started learning about this stuff, law of attraction, law of assumption, and all these things, I started thinking differently. And I've always kind of thought differently than everybody around me. I noticed that. And I always felt like I didn't belong. And so therefore I would, kind of dim myself down. And I remember dumbing myself down when I was really young. I would act like I wasn't smart on purpose. And it almost felt like being smart was being like a nerd or something and like you weren't accepted, which was totally not the case. It was just something I made up in my head. And so we make things up in our heads, in other words. So if you have a diagnosis, it's like you're getting told a story by this thing, this X-ray, this MRI, whatever it is. And that is true in the moment. It's like a snapshot. But I remember in my doctoral program that we were talking about blood and prayer and the effects on, there's a cat, prayer and the effects on someone's blood, whether it was local or non-local. Non-local means it's like taken out of the body and you could put it 1,000 miles away and still pray over it and it would affect it. It's just crazy how that works. Because we're all entangled. Quantum entanglement is what that's called. We're all one and we're all kind of tangled up together. We all affect one another. And so, and they've, done tests on this and proven this, and that's a whole other video. But so basically the effect of prayer on cancer cells in the blood, it would completely go away within about, 20 to 30 minutes. There'd be no more cancer cells in this blood. And of course, later the cancer cells would come back. But it was just showing how the effect of prayer, how it affected the blood after prayer and during prayer. And so my point to this is that our minds are that powerful that they will, project out onto matter. So if we want to think of ourselves as like, we are the projector, everything outside of us is like a screen and we're going to project out onto it. What do we want to see out there? So I play a game. I'm just like, I don't care what anything looks like. I no longer want to be a master of limitation. We are masters of limitation. We hear something and we're like, oh my God, I got this. I heard today I have this diagnosis, so therefore I can't go to the gym. And it's like, no. We can't say those things. Now, I'm not saying that if you had a heart attack last week, you're going to go run a marathon next week. I'm not saying we need to be doing stuff like that. But we've got to be real with ourselves and say, if there's a chance that I want to go to the gym and I've been given this diagnosis of, let's say, asthma, well, how do we still get to the gym with asthma? How do we do this? And why is the asthma there in the first place? We know that we can change our genes. If it's genetic, we know we can change our genes. Epigenetics proves that. And then we won't even go to law of assumption. That's a magical thing that we've been talking about. It's magic. It's not really magic. It's just how reality works. But everything is a projection from our minds. So whatever you're thinking about and assuming, you will see in your reality. So we've got to be really careful about what we think as far as limits are concerned. And that's never to ignore everything that's going on, obviously. We don't want to ignore, like if somebody says you have this and you need to take this medication and you think you should take the medication, take the medication. But we've got to work on the mind as well. We can't just do something for the body and expect that it's going to heal and everything's going to be fine after that. We've got to figure out what was the root cause of this thing in the body, and how am I feeling? What emotions and what stories have I been telling myself? And that's another thing to remember, is what story is running in the background of my day every day. I've been talking about living with intention. And so deciding who you want to be that day, how you want to feel, what do I need to think, and how do I need to behave in order to feel this way? And remembering to expect good things for yourself. Maybe your intention that day is, I'm going to expect that great things are going to happen to me today. And so you pretend like the universe is your butler and it's going to bring you everything that you want. And you just kind of live in that feeling of expectation. That's kind of like, our mental state, expectation, assumption. What am I assuming will come to me? So we live in that state. You practice the state and then you live in it. And we don't let the outside world dictate how we're feeling, ever. We want to create it from within first, and then you see the results of it coming out of you later. You see the reality conform. So it's so fun to play with this. But I want you to ask yourself, am I a master of limitation? Am I creating limitations that I don't need to be placing on myself? Because we're unlimited beings, so we can have and be and do anything we want. But if we are focused on an old story, then we're going to live in that old story. And again, your brain and body do not know the difference between truth or falsity. And so whatever you tell your brain, it's going to be like, okay, yeah, you're right. And then you're just going to go with that. Your body's going to think that you're in that reality every time you tell the old story. So I think there's two things that hold us back. It's like we're telling the old story, which activates our nervous system. And then our nervous system activates the old story. So it's like it kind of goes in a circle. So we've got to remember, we got two parts of this. We got to change the old story to a new story. And then we've got to learn to calm and train our bodies to calm down. And that's what I'll be working on in these videos with you as we move forward, of course. But we've got to just slow down. I would recommend slowing your life down as much as you can. If you're feeling anxious, turn that phone off, grab a book, grab some silence. Silence is the best. Just grab some silence, grab something that you never do, whatever that may be. You might need to make a radical change of some sort, because if we want a radical change, like in our life, we've got to make a radical change inside of ourselves first. And you have to decide, how do I want to feel? Because you get to choose. You are totally in the power mode. You're the star of the show. You are the star of your movie. You get to decide the end of the movie. You get to decide all the players and how they act, and or the actors and actresses, the players in the game, whatever you want to call it. You get to decide, write the scripts for everybody, but you start with yourself. What's the script you're going to write for yourself? What's the script you're going to live off of and be like? And what identity are you going to live from? And what stories are you going to stop telling? And what new stories are you going to start telling? And living from those stories is, I have found, the best way to feel better, faster. You just drop that old story. And I know we get addicted to the old story. That's the issue. And then our bodies get addicted to feeling that way. And so it's really hard to turn that off when you're like, this thing happened to me and it hurt me. I totally understand. It's a practice, and you're learning a skill set of feeling good. Like you're learning literally how to feel good and practice that. And that's a skill set. Isn't that sad that we feel so bad for so long. We've practiced it for so long that we've got to develop a skill set in order to feel good. It's just crazy. We got to start living like that and teaching kids about this and teaching everyone we know about this so we can pass this along and create a better legacy for all of ourselves and our families. And so it starts with us, We've got to start generating and cultivating better feeling states during the day. And it's just a practice. It really is practicing learning what your triggers are and why they're there, what your belief systems are. Question all your thoughts. Be very curious. Just stay very curious and slow down. Slow down enough that you can be curious and just have fun with all of this. So you slow down, you be curious, and you have fun because you're learning all about you. And as you learn about you, you're going to create this skill set that is priceless, that you can manifest anything from, and probably rather quickly once you get into the state of peace and joy and abundance. Once you're there, it's like nothing can really take you out of that. It's a lot harder to take you out. And if something does take you out, you're very quick to kind of go back to peace because you just get so addicted to feeling good that you can't go backwards again. So remember to drop the old story and start telling a new story and say, I'm training my brain to think this way. And now I'm going to also train my body to feel this way. And this is new. And I'm not going to be hard on myself. I'm going to give myself grace. And I'm just going to practice. And the law of attraction actually doesn't need any practice. It's happening all the time. Law of assumption, practice assuming differently. And you'll get differently. The universe is your butler. It will bring you what you're wanting. You just have to slow down enough to actually not contradict your vision for yourself and doubt yourself. So we'll keep talking about this. And if this helped you in any way, please share it with somebody else who might benefit from this. And remember, you are so, so loved. Pass that on to somebody else who might need to hear it. Please like and subscribe and join me in the next 100 and something videos and more. There will be more after this, I promise. And remember to appreciate yourself because what you appreciate appreciates. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.